Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting overcast skies with a light breeze, an afternoon high around 57. Tonight, showers likely with a low around 46. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers. The west cloudy skies will be windy, the high near 56. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Bonsall Pool and Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool and Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is oh so good to have a Victory Monday going on right now. Yes, I know. Some people aren't pleased with how the game looks. Some people are, it's ugly, it's this, it's that. I understand. In fact, we're going to let a show that happened earlier today speak for both sides of the argument, and then Jake and I will give the right answer because we're the only ones who can do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Adam Carriker Show. This show is brought to you by our good friends at Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors. You value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong of business. Suizo Construction. Again, Suizo.com, SCHWISOW.com. Also, our good friends at Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about the residential and business services at HamiltonTel.com. That's HamiltonTel.com. All right. Husker Nation, as we see here, right now, are you happy with where the team is? 6-2 overall in the season, year 3 under Matt RHULE. Technically still in college football playoff talks? I mean, technically we could win 10 games, right? Mathematically.
Right. Yeah.
In reality, maybe a different topic. But technically and mathematically, we're still in college football playoff conversations. Also, we could finish 500. So it goes both ways. We could still technically finish and mathematically finish exactly 500, and then we could lose the bowl game and finish under 500. I just went bad news Bach all over the place right there. It's all still possible. It's all still feasible. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's the number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Are you happy with where Nebraska football currently is right now, 8 games into the season? Let us know. In the meantime, we're going to let Sip and Coach Bush battle it out in this clip we're about to play. And then we'll see what you fine folks have to say, and then Jake and I will give our thoughts. Go ahead, Jake.
Are you satisfied with the month of October? Are you still pissed off about what happened in Minneapolis on Friday?
Oh my God.
2 weeks ago.
When you read off the names again, read the names again.
Okay, they beat Michigan State 38-27. They beat Maryland 34-31. They lost to Minnesota 24-6, and they beat Northwestern 28-21. 21.
I'm going myself disappointed to highly disappointed.
Geez, see, we're different.
The 3-1's great, but when you lost to Minnesota,
Got pounded by
Minnesota
Minnesota.
just got beat 41-3. And the game before, they barely beat Purdue.
I
So
just think they're in a situation now where you just take the 3-1 and don't tear it apart too much.
I'm not tearing it apart, but I just think you should
I mean,
win.
like, don't nitpick it. I mean, they're 3-1 in the month. If I would have said that, well, I did say it.
You did.
If they go 3-1, that's
You said
good.
you're happy with that.
Yeah, they're good. So I'm not going to go back and say, well, no. I mean, I don't care how they win right now. If I'm a fan, just win.
Yep.
They're not that good.
Style points are overrated.
Right now they are. I mean, yeah, right now they are. Who's worried about style points right now?
Nebraska has clinched the bowl game. Now, you'd like to not make that, where you stop and you go 6-6. You want to win several games in November.
Now, I'm not saying something. Bill, I hear from a lot of people that are like Bill, a lot. And I mean people that are close to it.
I was on the 3-1
Yes,
train.
you were.
I 100% agreed with 3-1 being really good at that time. After I saw the opponents, then the 4-0. Because I mean, I still think Maryland's probably the better team of all four of those.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that they were like that. Like I said, Shin Daddy said it was a bass boat game, and so that's just a tough game, especially after they go to a trophy game in Iowa and gave up 30 in the first half, right? 33, something like that. I think they gave up 33 in the first half. But anyway, but for that reason, that's why I said after I saw the teams, was totally on board with the 3-1. If that happened, if it was 3-1 and Michigan was the loss that was in there, then I see it completely different.
Where I come down on is that Nebraska's not at a place as a program where you can nitpick too much about that. They're 3-1. You won't get me to come off of it.
All right, Jake, do we have anything on the text line yet?
Yeah, we got a few thoughts.
All right, go ahead.
All right, looking at Colgan J here says, after watching what Iowa did to Minnesota, I am really not sure if we've taken the steps forward that we may think we have taken. 3842 says, record, yes. The way it looks and feels, no. Captain Obvious says, no, not when you break it down, but we are 6-2 and we have more talent than we have had in a long time. Feels like we're in the best position we have been in as far back as I can remember. Thomas and Lincoln says, I'm happy with Nebraska's play so far. I think Nebraska is on the path of a New Year's Eve bowl against Texas and lose the bowl game to Texas. Tresco Joe says, I'll say this. 5 years ago, I don't know if we would come out on top in a lot of these games. It hasn't looked awesome, but they have found ways to win.
All fair points. I thought Sip made fair points. I thought Bush made fair points. I don't think anybody's wrong in this equation. And I have no problem stating if I disagree or agree with somebody. I think everybody is right. I think everybody has fair takes. I think it depends on what you put more emphasis on. What matters more to you? What do you put the emphasis on? And what were your preseason expectations? Those are the two things. What were your expectations coming into the year, and what do you put the emphasis on? I hate to keep going back to the offseason press conferences. In fact, if I do it again, slap me on the wrist. But I'm going to do it one more time because there has to be a certain amount of accountability for things that are said. Matt RHULE should not have said a lot of the things that he said, in my humble opinion, from the podium, because to raise the level of expectation to something that just wasn't reality. And then when you don't meet that, people are that much harsher in their response. Does that make sense? Is that fair?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I've beaten that dead horse for probably what will be almost the last time until I do it again. But the whole entire offseason was like, stop doing it. Stop doing it. He clearly doesn't listen to me, but he's the head coach. I'm just a guy who flaps my gums for a living. Now, here's the deal. When you do that, you raise the level of preseason expectations. If you match it, it's all that much better. When you don't, it becomes a little bit of a harsher reaction by some. So what was your preseason expectation? I said 8 wins. Predicted 9. Said 8 would be success. 9, I'd jump for joy, which is crazy because we've fired multiple 9-win coaches in the past. But that is where we are currently at right now, and that's okay. I said, for me, those are my preseason expectations. I thought those were realistic. I said anything under 8 wins is unacceptable because whether we have a typical year 3 Matt RHULE jump or not, we need to keep going in the right direction. Now, if we were sitting here with Florida's schedule, Oklahoma's schedule, Wisconsin's schedule, and we matched our record from last year, 6-6 in the regular season, 7-6 at the end of the season, win a bowl game, I'd have been like, oh man, the schedule was exponentially more brutal. Like I've got to weight those wins more. That was not the case. Coming into the season, we were two things when it came to being ranked last in the Big Ten. We were, I don't know if last is the right word, but we had the easiest schedule in the Big Ten by multiple publications. And I don't think a whole lot has happened to change that. Right now, the best team we played so far is Michigan. They may be ranked at the end of the year. They may not. They're a good football team. They're not like going to be in the CFP or a national title contender this year. USC, we haven't played them yet. So up to this point, USC is a team that could get in the CFP. They're a team that could go to a bowl game and lose it. They've got a lot to learn and prove in their own right as well. So for me, looking at the schedule, easiest schedule in the Big Ten, not a lot has changed since the opening kickoff of the season to really change that, other than Cincinnati's probably better than we thought they were. That's really about it. We're also the youngest team in the Big Ten. Those were the two things that stuck out to me. I'm like, there's going to be a learning curve. There just is. So 8 to 9 wins. That's where I was at. I've looked at this team through that prism the entire year. I haven't looked at it as compared to a 3-win Scott Frost team, a national championship 97, 94, 95 team. I haven't looked at it as anything other than 8 to 9 wins. That's how I've looked at it. Now we've evaluated what's been good, what needs to improve, what hasn't been great, what has improved, etc. throughout the year. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of, if you haven't noticed, I'm very bottom line with how I define success. I've been very bottom line and very consistent because at the end of the day, it's a bottom line business. I'm not saying anyone's going to get fired, but coaches are getting fired right and left right now. I mean, my goodness. I've actually got I had the list in front of me. So Brian Kelly at LSU, James Franklin, Penn State. By the way, we're not even in November yet. Just think about this. Billy Napier, Florida, Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State, Sam Pittman, Arkansas, Deshaun Foster, UCLA, Brent Pry, Virginia Tech, Trent Bray, who was a linebackers coach and the host of my official visit when I went to Oregon State, but the linebackers coach here at Nebraska, and then he was the head coach. His dad was the DC there, by the way, when I was getting recruited. Trent Dilfer at UAB, Jay Norvell at Colorado State. Oh, I saw the total. $169 million is being paid out for these people not to coach there anymore. So it's a very bottom line business, and things need to happen sooner rather than later, faster rather than more delayed. Thank guys like Kurt Signetti for that. I still don't know how he's doing it. And I don't know how Indiana's better than they were last year, but they are. So my point is this. When it comes to how I feel about where we're at, I understand Bush is like, we had a better roster than every team we played in October. I did a recruiting rankings and transfer portal rankings analysis recently. It's not close. Not one of those teams is even close to us. Like Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota. Our lowest ranked high school recruiting class in the past 3 years, lowest is 28th. The highest of any of those teams was Minnesota's at 42. So our worst recruiting class of the past 3 years is exponentially better than the best recruiting class of any of those teams. Transfer portal class, we had a top 5 transfer portal class. Okay, nobody else that we just played has ever had a top 20 transfer portal class in the month of October. So when you compare roster to roster, it's not close. When you compare coaching experience to coaching experience, Jonathan Smith is a good coach. They do not like him at Michigan State, and if they don't, they're going to blow it. They're going to blow it with a good coach. They're right now debating not if they're going to keep him. They're debating if he's worse than Mel Tucker, which is ridiculous. But he's only been there 2 years. Maryland's coach has only been there a couple years. PJ Fleck has been at Minnesota a while. But when you factor in the experience of our coordinators, offensive, defensive, special teams, and head coach, and the amount of DCs we have on this squad, 4, the amount of guys who've been offensive coordinators, 4 on this squad, we have the coaching experience advantage. So when Bush says disappointed to highly disappointed, I get it. When Sip says, and some of the folks on the text line say, you know what, we're 6-2, we went 3-1 in October. And the thing that I stuck with the most was what Sip said when he said, we're not very good, don't nitpick it, they're just winning. That's basically what he said, and that's where I land. We're not a top 25 team. We beat USC, we'll be top 25. We'll see what happens. We can have that conversation if and when that happens. But I don't necessarily think that we're a top 25 team, despite having top 25 talent on the roster. We're just not there yet. because it's a combination of development, it's a combination of retention, it's a combination of experience. It's just like I said last year. Back me up. I said Alabama had the most talented roster, but I said Ohio State had the best roster because of the combination of experience that they had. Do you remember that? Yeah. I was consistent with that. And after they lost to Michigan, think back to that moment. Think back to the moment after Ohio State lost to Michigan, pre-college football run. I sat here and I said, I think Ohio State's going to play Notre Dame in the college football playoff. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of looked at me. Remember that segment? You thought I was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't trust Notre Dame to get there.
Oh, but you trusted Ohio State after losing to Michigan?
Well, I mean, Ohio State was. I don't remember my exact thought process, but
I remember the show. I remember the notes. I remember everything, because I love trying to figure out the best way to have a college football playoff. So those things always stick out in my memory, as much as anything. This isn't me trying to point out I was right. There's plenty of times I was wrong on this show. Trust me. I didn't even come close to getting the Minnesota game right. I got the Michigan game wrong, albeit fairly close. Nobody bats 1,000 other than Bud Crawford, as that was wonderfully pointed out to me by a fan a couple of weeks ago. I was like, thanks for that. Touche. All right. But I look at this team. They're a young team, the youngest in the Big Ten. And I'm like, that's got to be factored in. Alabama was the most talented team, but they had a bunch of true freshmen in their secondary last year, and it got exposed. They had a quarterback who was wildly inconsistent and up and down, which is why they would dominate LSU, and it's why they would go into Georgia or play Georgia last year and be up 28-0. Then they'd almost lose the game. They ended up winning that game. And then they would go play Michigan and get curb stomped when Michigan's the team with a bunch of guys sitting out and banged up and injured, not Alabama in the bowl game. My point is this. You've also got to factor in the experience, the development, the coaching, everything that goes into the program. With Nebraska, to say that they're not a good team, I don't know that I agree with that. Sip says a lot of highly intelligent things. I'm not ever going to question him on that. He's been doing this for far too long at too high a level. But I thought his statement stuck out the most to me because basically he was saying, we're good enough to win these games, but we're not great. We're going to lose some games that we probably shouldn't, because that's what happens when you're not there yet, when you're not consistent, when you're young, when you're youthful, when the coaching staff is frankly trying to figure out their own team. I mean, Holgorsen, he's unequivocally one of the best OCs in the country, but how do you go from a couple of games this year to barely running the ball, trying to run longer routes, Minnesota, Michigan State, to all of a sudden Maryland, and our game last weekend versus Northwestern, the game plan looks completely different. Now, you're going to have different game plans to week, but there was an obvious concerted effort, and we all know why. It was to protect the quarterback, to help the offensive line out up front, because he's like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I think we should be able to do. Now I know this is what we have to do. And there's a learning process for that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. A bad coach would say, square peg, round hole, we're going to keep doing this. That's not what Holgorsen is, which is why he's adjusted. So for me, where I land is, regardless of how you feel, unless you're just over the top positive no matter what, or over the top negative no matter what, I'm going to disagree with you there, because there's no reality, no validity in that. But regardless of how you feel, as long as you're somewhere in the middle, first of all, nobody can tell anybody how to feel, but it's based on how I feel. I'm like, yeah, we probably should have gone 4-0. So I get where Bush is coming from. I also understand that we haven't earned the right to just automatically expect to go 4-0 at any point in any season for quite a while yet. We haven't earned it. Even before the season, I said we're going to lose. I said we'd be 7-1. So another thing I got wrong right now, because I thought we'd beat Michigan. And then I said we're going to lose a game in October that we shouldn't, because we haven't earned the right to just assume we're going to. And we'll be 7-1 going into November. We're 6-2. So for me, I'm fine with where we're at, mostly because we're 6-2. Again, bottom line business, mostly because we're 6-2. If we were 7-1, hey, I'm sitting here talking CFP. What does it mean versus USC? Is there a way we can get in the Big Ten championship game conversation? We're not in those talks whatsoever. Not right now. We beat USC, things can change, and everybody looks at things differently. And Minnesota's, I don't want to say forgotten, but it's deep in the rearview mirror until we start looking ahead to their game next year. We lose to USC, and it's like, all right, now we got to go beat UCLA. Like, it is a must-win out at UCLA in Pasadena. My happiness level is, I remember saying before the season, if we're 5-3 going into November, we got problems. Like, we should be 7-1. We better not be 5-3. First of all, this schedule is not tough enough. that we should have lost almost half our games. And that's also, by the way, where we've been the past 2 years in a row. So there's zero progress whatsoever if that had been the case. And now we're going to face the toughest part of our schedule, which is November. So for me, we're not 5-3. We're not 7-1. We're 6-2. So how I would phrase it, am I jumping for joy? No. Am I happy? I'm not uber happy, but I'm happy because it could be worse, if that makes sense. So for me, I find it acceptable. That's the word I land on. It's acceptable. It's the bottom of the barrel of what I consider acceptable. 5-3 would not be acceptable. 7-1 would be great. Anything above or below either one of those things is just, didn't even seem realistic to me. I find it acceptable. And that's where I'm at. Jump, leap, year 3. I'll be honest with you. It's about retention. And I want to see what we do in the offseason when it comes to the offensive line. But if we keep our skill guys and we keep the guys up front on the D line, we got some experience that won't be coming back next year in the secondary. We've got some that will be. Our second level defenders, some guys will be gone, some guys will be back. It's not like we're going to be bare anywhere on defense, but the defensive line, as long as you retain those guys, you get another year in the offseason, in the weight room in the offseason, another year of experience under their belt. You keep the skill guys and you attack. Depends on how you feel about your younger offensive linemen. RHULE said they're not ready yet. Can they be ready a year from now? I don't know. You attack the transfer portal up front in the offensive line if you need to, which is where I would probably start. We might see that jump or leap a year from now. But all of a sudden, Jake, who do we play next year?
Oh, man, a gauntlet.
Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Iowa, just to name a few. All of a sudden, this little valley full of daisies schedule that we have played, frankly, almost 2 years in a row. This year's probably even a little bit more daisy-ish in the valley than last year's was, and last year's was pretty friendly. All of a sudden, it changes next year, so you better be better. We end up 500 in November. We end up 8-4. Let's say we win the bowl game, okay? I think that's best case realistic scenario right now. I'd be pretty happy with that. Number one, I'd be right because I said 9 wins on a technicality because I meant 9-3, but 9-4 counts. I didn't specify, so it's my show. I'll do what I want. Right, Jake?
That's right.
But if we were to go 9-4 next year with that schedule, and we'll see, teams change really quickly, I might consider that an upgrade because the schedule is tougher. So my point is what I see right now. I don't see anybody whose opinion is wrong. Who am I to tell anybody their opinion is wrong anyways? But I can see everybody's side when they're approaching how they feel about things, from Bush to Sip to the text line. And Jake, I want to hear your thoughts in a second. I get it. For me, it's acceptable. It's the bottom of the barrel of what I consider to be acceptable. 7-1 would be exciting. 5-3, it's just, we're having a whole different conversation probably. So I find it acceptable. And we go into November, and Matt RHULE had his press conference. We'll react to that. And it's going to be a wild November, week to week. Week to week. We can win every game. We can lose every game. Like I said, we can be anywhere from 10-2. CFP talks to 6-7 and under 500 at the end of the year. I think we land somewhere in the middle. What I will say is if we win 9 games or more, I will consider this a successful season. Very successful. I would be very happy. If we win 7 games or less, this was not a successful season. Because it was not a tougher schedule. It was probably a little easier, and you didn't win any more games. You don't have to take a leap or a jump, but you've got to take steps in the right direction. No more going backwards to go forwards. Not this deep into a tenure. Thoughts, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I think it, again, depends on kind of what your expectations were coming into the season. I said 8 wins. I think they're on pace for that. Again, what we've seen from Matt RHULE so far in his tenure is they do bounce back from adversity pretty well. This is another example of that. So I think there's growth that you could see here and there. I mean, there's all these stats. We'll get to them again this week. Top 25 opponents, 27 straight, 28 straight, whatever it is. But I mean, there was that stat of 1-10 after winning 5 games. All right, well, now move that up. That's no longer a stat you're going to be thinking about for the rest of the season. So, again, is it a good team? I think it's a solid team. I mean, you're seeing growth happen right in front of you, right? The last 2 wins they've had to run, they've had to have a drive at the end of the game to go down there and get it. And they did. So, again, it just depends on where you're coming from. I think if you're, and it's interesting because if they were 7-1, like you were saying, if they did win, I think you'd get right back. They wouldn't necessarily be much better of a team, but then the fan support, the fan bravado jumps back up to, why isn't Dylan Raiola, why is he not getting more publicity? Why aren't we ranked above Cincinnati? All that stuff once again. So it's so quick how, all this stuff can turn. To me, if you take a step back, if you're looking at the Minnesota game, you might still be frustrated. Take a bigger step back. Remember the Scott Frost years. Remember the Mike Riley years. There's a whole generation of young folks that are interested in now Nebraska being to a bowl game. I get it. I agree with Matt RHULE. That's not nothing that should be celebrated around here at Nebraska. But again, it was just a long drought of not getting there. And so again, that shows that they are taking steps forward. This is not just a flash in the pan. Somehow they won enough games last year. This is a bowl program now. And yeah, that's not where Nebraska wants to be. They 5-time national champs, you go back to that. But for now, it is steps in the right direction and an important win on Saturday in a bigger game, because I guarantee you, no matter how you feel now and how you're answering this question, it will change depending on the results Saturday against the top 25 USC squad, where if Nebraska wins, once again, they're going to be in the top 25.
Yeah, we have an opportunity again. Probably Iowa might be ranked, though. So we might have 2 more shots. I don't want to have to need 2 more shots, but we have an opportunity to break our 9-year losing streak versus ranked teams this Saturday. And the whole conversation changes if we do. We're going to go out on that Matt RHULE clip and then go into break. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Because he talks about progress. So, quick synopsis. I think we're better at quarterback. I think we're better at running back. I think we're better at wide receiver. I think Luke Lindemeyer is a solid tight end. I don't think we are as good up front in the offensive line, not consistency-wise anyways. I think the defensive line, you cannot say that they're as good as they were last year with Nash and Ty and all them. The secondary is better than it was last year. The second level, I don't know, it hasn't stuck out any more or less to me, second level of the defense than a year ago. Our special teams is exponentially better. So I've said this before. I feel like Matt RHULE is almost like there's water leaks, holes in the ground, and like the water's coming through, and he plugs one hole, and then another one pops up. And he plugs one hole with his finger. If you can see me on YouTube or TV, and he plugs one, but then another one pops up. Like special teams, not great. All right, fix special teams. O-line pops up. All right, O-line. Now the pass defense is not great. Fix that one. Okay, now we don't stop the run. Like he's constantly trying to plug the holes where the water's leaking through. One issue gets fixed, another issue pops up. It's kind of typical, but here's what's different to me. The one-score wins. We have more one-score wins this year, one possession, one-score wins this year than we have in the past 4 years combined. The record is better. We've won 75% of our games as opposed to 33% of our games in one-score games this year to last year, just as an example. We're 3-1 so far. We were 2-4 last year. 2 game-winning drives by our offense and our quarterback. And then the opposing teams had an opportunity, Maryland, Northwestern, to come out and try to score, and our defense got to stop both times. There's something to be said for getting it done in the biggest moments when we haven't done it in the past. And I know sometimes it's rear end ugly. I get it's butt ugly sometimes, but a win is beautiful because in the past we would have lost these games and we would have been sitting here talking about, hey, we had 150 more total yards than them. Hey, we had the ball for 39 minutes. They had it for 21. Hey, we were clearly the better team, but we lost because we punted it to the wrong side of the field, the opposite of the coverage, or we fumbled it deep in our own side of the end field versus Michigan. We found ways to lose games we should have won. And despite these games looking so ugly right now, we're finding ways to win. That's where I land. Because I posed this question earlier this week. If this year's Nebraska team was to play last year's Nebraska team, who would win? I think it would not be a pretty game. I think this year's team would win because they'd find a way to win, and last year's team might do the opposite. And that's where I land. Is that fair? And I know we got to go to break. But
yeah.
In other words, go to break. Okay.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll the clip, then head on into break.
Credit to these guys and all the guys who came before them to from where we were to be 6-2 with NBC coming here next Saturday night with a game that matters, and not just for the other team, but for us too. That's progress. And that progress isn't done by me. It wasn't done by me. It was done by these guys. It's done by the guys who've been here for all 3 years. It's done by the guys who aren't here anymore. Like I said, last year we hugged after we beat Wisconsin and people were going nuts. We were bowl eligible. We didn't even mention it in there. I said it to my daughter walking out because that's all they really care about is a vacation. So, but yeah. We're just going to try to go play our best game next week and just do that. We got 4 more chances, and I just, as you do this long enough, it's just after being on the road for 2 weeks, it was just so great to be back here. It was just so. I mean, I got here really really early today, and there's a couple thousand kids in the student section already before anyone's even on the field. It's just such an awesome place and such an awesome home venue that has such an effect on you.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com. The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show. It's the noon hour. You know what that means. It's lunchtime, the lunch hour of The Adam Carriker Show here on the Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue, now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try the burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus, get incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. All right, Rules press conference. Said he's proud of the guys, battled hard, played hard, fought hard. Unfortunately, Teddy Prohaska is done, tore his ACL again. So personally, I'm very sorry to hear that. And I heard a couple people's responses, honestly, about this, just briefly. You can tell in the responses, is really 4. There were 2 guys who had played the game and 2 guys who hadn't. The 2 guys who hadn't played the game were like, oh, this guy's just injury prone. He's broken again. The 2 guys who played were like, dude, like, I'm going to be honest, I'm one of them. I'm going to send him a text because that's tough. The hours, the blood, the sweat, the tears, everything. He's already come back from 3 major knee injuries. I've never seen someone do that, especially not someone that size. I'm not talking scopes with the little X on your body. I'm talking cut, open, wide open, 3 different times. Now, this will be 4. It hurts the team. It sucks for the team. The offensive line clearly needs him. Some additional help. In general, I don't mean that as a shot, but we just need to play better, and he's one of those guys who could have helped. But I wish him nothing but the best in recovery. I'll shoot him a text, actually, the next commercial break. I just thought it was interesting, the drastic, different responses. There's only 4 of them. It was literally 2 and 2 split when people heard that. So take that for whatever it's worth. Now, Matt Rhule says we have enough guys to fill in for him. Gunnar Gatula is questionable with an injury. We had 7 guys who had all started well into the double digits of games in their careers coming in. We've talked about the amount of experience on this offensive line enough. So you've got experience. You've got highly recruited guys. Talked about all this before. Who's ready to play? Who's been developed? Who's ready to step up? We'll see. Rhule says we got plenty. Wide receivers blocked better than any other team he has been a part of against Northwestern. This is obviously going to stick out because we didn't block the best last year. Holgerson, when he gets here, he kind of points it out. Not kind of, but points it out. And it's been a concerted effort this year to be blocking better on the perimeter, starting with the wide receivers. Which is why, not every screen's going to go for a home run, but it's why we've had 2 wide receivers go for home runs so far this year. So it's good to hear that. So there's a lot of parity in college football. That's beyond obvious. Every game seemingly is a 1-possession game now, way more often than not. And it makes it more fun to watch. It makes it more entertaining, more parity across the board, more teams that are good than used to be. I remember, Ole Miss being like an 8-9 win team, pretty good. They're like a college football playoff team right now. They've got great quality wins, and I'm going to use a term I hate, a great quality loss at Georgia, but they played Georgia well. Like, they're going to be a team that's probably in the CFP. You look at Indiana, you look at Vanderbilt, you look at these other schools that were never in this conversation before. There's way more parity across the board that is good for college football in general. Want guys to focus on execution this week. The biggest thing to consistency, which I've talked about numerous times on the show, is executing consistently. Your speed doesn't go away. Your height and weight, your weight can go away, but in theory, it doesn't go away for quite a while. Your height doesn't go away. Your physical ability doesn't go away unless you just don't work out and eat terrible. It comes down to execution or lack thereof, leading to consistency or lack thereof. If you execute, you'll be consistent. Obviously, a lot of that comes down to the mental part of the game. Guys will need to be tough mentally, especially this week. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny, a lot of attention. That's what you want. Pressure is a privilege. Big-time games are an opportunity. This is what you want. You want to be on national television on Saturday night versus, this is 2 of the 8 blue blood programs in America. A ranked team coming into your house. Can we break this 9-year freaking losing streak to ranked teams? Losing streak to ranked teams. Can we do it in the blackout game? Rhule said. When it comes to the blackout game, who has a better right to wear black than us? Says he wants a blackout game every year. Did you notice we've gone all whites, all reds, and all blacks at some point this year after this Saturday? Did you notice that at all, Jake?
I mean,
do you even care?
No, I really don't want a whole lot of talk about the alternate uniform.
And the truth comes out. Win football games, we can talk unis. Lose, nobody cares. And that's okay. I do think it's going to be an insane atmosphere. The blackout game, the alternate uniforms at night. They pretty much knew this was going to be at night when they did that photo shoot last summer, by the way, in the corn stalks with the players in the all-black uniforms. It wasn't official, but they pretty much knew back then. So it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. He says he wants it. RHULE says he wants it so loud that USC has such a hard time communicating. I feel like I know about 90+ thousand people who might be able to help out with that. 90+ thousand people could possibly help out with that. I hope it's so loud they can't hear the guy next to him trying to talk to him. That would be phenomenal. All right. USC is as talented of any team in the country. Just for perspective, I said everybody we played in October, not one high school recruiting class, not one transfer portal recruiting class, not one time. Well, that's not true. Minnesota had one portal class one time. But nobody had a high school class, and none of the other portal classes were ever ranked higher than even our worst high school or portal classes the past 3 years, to be specific, the past 3 years. So 1 out of however many classes that is in totality. That was it. We won the other 97, 8, 9% of the time. USC, they've out-recruited us 3 straight years when it comes to high school rankings and when it comes to portal rankings. Like, they're going to come in here. Either them or Michigan. I do think USC is probably a little bit more talented than Michigan. And if you look at the roster, I would give the roster advantage to USC because they've got more experience at the quarterback position. They've got more experience at certain positions. And that's part of the reason USC routed Michigan earlier this year. But USC is not infallible. I mean, you watch them against Illinois. I mean, Illinois is good, but not great. I watched Illinois lose by 1,000 to Indiana, and I'm rounding down. Illinois got curb stomped by a good Washington team. But Washington's nothing special this past weekend. Now, when you compare one game to another, as we know, it's not always the same team that shows up every Saturday because it's young human beings and they're up and down. But my point is, are we the underdog to USC? Yeah. Should we be? Yeah. Will that line probably grow as the week goes along? Probably in favor of USC. And whether we win or lose or whatever, but for the first time all year, we're going to face a roster that's pretty much got the talent and the experience advantage on us. It's not like night and day, like, oh my gosh, they're so much better. Just they're going to have the edge, and we're not used to that. How do we respond? How do we play? Can the fans have an impact? How do the coaches approach this game? What in-game adjustments do we make? We're prepared for games. You can see that we're prepared. Of the 8 games so far this year, we were prepared really well 7 times. You can figure out who the outlier is. And I'm hoping that's just an outlier game. But it's the in-game adjustments. It's the second and third quarter. First and fourth quarter is an overarching overall whole this year. We've done really well. It's the second and third quarter. How do we do? All right. Wants everyone to show up and be physical this week. And then he had some funny things when it came to Eckler's celebration here. Let's see. Oh, on the crowd. Here was exactly what he said, and I quote, he wants our crowd to be so loud that they deafen the ability of an opponent to communicate. End quote. The Huskers experienced that on the other side late in the game last year at Iowa. You want to reciprocate that to our good buddies from USC this year. All right. Mike Eckler and his celebrations. Matt RHULE on the clip that's gone around of Eckler celebrating after Kenneth Williams' kickoff return for a touchdown. All right. And I quote, "There's no problem there for anybody who's worried he's my boy," end quote. He said Eckler has punched and pushed RHULE after big plays this year. RHULE said, and I quote, "Don't touch me. Stay over there," end quote. I love that. Have you seen the clip of like Holgorsen like bracing? Like Eckler's going from guy to guy going nuts, and then he gets to Holgorsen, and Holgorsen, I don't want to say the fetal position because that comes across wrong, but it's like the standing fetal position, like he's totally bracing for impact. Have you seen that part of the clip?
I did, yeah.
That was phenomenal. It's funny because sometimes people will try to tell you how to be. You need to be calm. You need to be more excited. Why don't you show more emotion? Why don't you remain more calm in intense situations late in the game? Like, you got to be you. You got to be you. You got to be authentic. You got to be real. You can't be any certain particular person other than how you were made. I'm just going to say, the way God made Mike Eckler, it's fun to watch. That's what I'm going to say. The way he made him is fun to watch. It also helps when your unit is producing at the level that Eckler's unit is producing. Is there anything out the text line before we go to break? Quick.
No.
You're like, we're on time. Let's stay on time
let's
for
stay on
once.
time.
All right, let's head to break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you afraid of the dark? Add a little light to your bite with a Raising Cane's glow-in-the-dark Halloween cup and enjoy a beverage while supplies last. Happy Halloween from Raising Cane's. One love.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zip line gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's how we used to feel. Boom! All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the last segment of the show today. Before we dive into that, light that candle, I want to give a shout out to another good partner for the show. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a bit of a health nut. Hydration and recovery, they do start at home. That's why you should team up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, make sure you add a Culligan reverse osmosis. It's bottled quality water right at your tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln. Water you love. Go Big Red. All right, couple of interesting stats here. Special teams. Number 1 in the country in points accumulated through special teams. Number 4 in the country in special teams efficiency, which takes everything into account from field goals, punt, kickoff return, etc. By the way, you and I were chatting during the break because I mentioned Gatula may or may not play. Like, oh, man. All right, I'm just going to say it because you said it off air, so I'll say it on air. Didn't they tell us earlier this year some of the young guys weren't ready?
I think so. I think I remember that.
You don't think so. You know so.
I know so, yeah.
We'll just see what happens. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm just like, I remember that being said. Maybe they progressed. This was like a month or 2 ago. They could have progressed. That happens. All right, I will say this. Grant Segrin, former Husker. I remember RHULE shouted him out in one of the press conferences in the spring. Then he hits the portal, goes to Oklahoma State 2 weeks ago. He's the highest graded right tackle in all of college football America by the never doubted, unquestionable, fact-based Pro Football Focus. He's now entered the transfer portal again as well. Just see what happens there. If you haven't seen this, Emmett Johnson leads the Big Ten in all-purpose yards, rushing as well, and is the only player in the conference to eclipse 1,000 all-purpose yards. He's top 5 in the country in rushing. In addition to this, a little bit more on our special teams. All right. This is via Michael Severe on X. Husker punt returns, 2024, 15 of them for 73 yards. 2023, 16 of them for 48 yards. 2022, 5 of them for 77 yards. 2021, 10 of them for 27 yards. That's 2.7 yards. Anyways, on average per return, I got it out. All right, that's 46 returns for 225 total yards. By the way, it was last week. I just got a text that it was last week that was said. Okay, all right. That's 40. That's 46 returns for 225 total yards over 4 seasons. In 8 games, Nebraska has, I'm trying to be positive here, and then I get random texts like that. In 8 games, Nebraska has 20 punt returns for 288 yards. If you can't do math great like me, I've got it right in front of me, so I don't have to do math. I just have to read at a basic elementary first grade level, which I can do most of the time. We have more punt return yards this year than 2024, 23, 22, 21 combined. All right, from 2021 to 2024, Nebraska allowed an average of 18 return yards for 176 yards, or 18 returns, for 176 yards so far this year. 3 returns for 1 yard. That's a third of a yard per return, and when they've only tried to return it on us 3 times this year. Nebraska's defense, we were going in the right direction in the rushing defense. We backtracked a little bit. We're now 101st in the country when it comes to rushing defense. Let's see what else we got here. A couple of volleyball clips we're going to play. Number 1, Nebraska moved to 20-0 on the season with a sweep over Michigan State. 5 Huskers finished with at least 7 kills, including 9 from Taraya Sigler as well. So we got a couple of clips. Surprised me with the order. I was going to try to tell you, I like being surprised. Surprise me with the order. We got 2 volleyball clips. Play one, we'll react, and we'll play the other, and we'll get out.
Have you ever played a rally with 7 players on the court before?
No. That was odd.
What was the conversation like with the official? What were they?
It was verbal warning, and I said, oh, well, if that's only a verbal warning, we might try that too, if we need a point. Might throw somebody else out there. I don't know, and just get a verbal warning.
You ever played against 7 players at once before?
No, yeah. What was that about?
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
After we won the point in the huddle, there was still time to count 7 people. I saw 7 heads, so.
I just remember the crowd being like, what's going on? And I'm like, what is happening? I look over and a girl runs off the court. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, even in college, that stuff still happens.
Yes. Yeah.
That happened to you in college? No. But you would think that's where that would happen.
Yeah.
What does it say that you still won the point when they had 7 people on the court at one time?
Yeah. Wait, sorry. What was the question?
You won the point.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we found space. With it being a tight space. We did it.
So that was Danny Busboom Kelly and a couple of players. I believe one of them was Rebecca Alec when they played one of the recent matches. There were 7 girls on the court for one of the points for the other team. I loved Busboom's response. She was so annoyed, just so annoyed. Yeah, we might try that. Verbal warning. We need a point. We'll do that at some point. What if the national championship's on the line? Let's say it's set 5, Texas. I even called them Texas, not Gag Me You. And we're up 25-24, and we need a point. She goes, go out there. Hey, Harper, you're not. Well, Harper would be in, but somebody else go in. Just get us this point. Win the national championship. All we get's a verbal warning, and we walk off. We wouldn't need this to win it. I'm just saying, what if? Remember last year, Oregon beat Ohio State up in Eugene before the Rose Bowl and that curb stomping, and Dan Lanning put a 12th guy on the field. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And as a result, Ohio State didn't, I forget what happened, but basically Lanning did it on purpose. The penalty was better than the play, and it was actually a genius move. So what if this is the volleyball version of that?
Well, especially if you just get a warning. I mean, Nebraska's tough to beat now. Imagine if they can put another person out there on the court.
Dude, she was so annoyed. Just a verbal warning. Well, we might do that. Put that in the back of my memory bank. I'm remembering. What if she does this 20 years from now? Just remembers it. And what was the other? I don't even remember. What was the other clip? I sent it to you over the weekend. Go ahead and roll it real quick.
Yeah, this is DVK about complacency.
Yes.
Our practices, we have really competitive practices. We're always mixing our teams up, making sure we're creating different matchups that could be similar to the game. So trying to create things in practice as much as we can. But yeah, again, I've said this so many times this year, just this team's fallen short, the bulk of this team for 2 years now. So they're pretty hungry. I think they understand that what is going to happen if they get complacent, and it's not going to be good.
I think one of the biggest things this Husker team has going for them, per her point, is the fact that they have unfortunately fallen short. But they've got the talent. I mean, they're the best team in the country, but you got to go out and win it. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. I think the thing that's going to help put them over the edge is that they got that hunger from not getting there the past couple of years and being so close. And to her point, complacency is the enemy of consistency. So, like what she said, they're constantly finding new ways to challenge themselves, even in practice. If you want consistency, you got no room for complacency. And if you ever need a random point in a volleyball match, just throw a 7th player out there. All it is a verbal warning. All right. Have a great day. Go, Big Red Noise. Remember to throw the bone.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew